Hello guys, today we're going to show you how me and my friend made progressive house together in Garageband. So without further ado, let's get started. We're first going to be looking into me and my friend's first collaborations known as Good Night, and blank is our line's name, okay, you can see right there. We use several instruments and we're just going to let you listen what we made to let you get a generic idea on what this piece is going to be about. Alright, let's get started. let's break this song into different pieces. So first of all, we started off with a Steinway grand piano playing some chords, as you can see here. It's quite basic. It's one of the first chords that we made, and we just built over it. So if you just hear it solo, it just sounds like this. So it just goes on and on again until we decide to change it. In the automations, now the volume changes so it stays stable throughout the whole song. Next, we have a juicy pump bass, which we use it in our first juicy pump bass, which we use in our drop, nearing the drop. So it just sounds like a fluctuating bass. Is to give more of the low frequency sounds to fill in that low frequency gap in the song. Next we have, oh wait, this electro bass is useless, never mind. We have a flute bass which pops up in our first breakdown. Let's give it those fluctuating mid bass sounds to fill in the gaps, like also that. So it's like something to replace our sub bass in the original song. And of course, speaking of that, we have our sub bass here, which just plays the really low frequency bass notes to fill in the lower frequency holes in the song. I'll just show you how the bass sounds like when it comes to the drop. So it should sound like this. So as you can tell, the bass in the song is quite strong when it comes to the main melody. So over here we have a clipping beat topper which comes in around like the middle of the intro, as it gives it like a more interesting progression, followed by our shaker, which comes in like around 3/4 of the part. So now we talk about micro pulse. It is like our sub chord. However, it's a very cool function in which you can add cutoff to it, meaning you'll become less filtered. If you guys use silent field, you should know what that is. Like from a very plucky feel, it becomes very raw and saw bass led, as you can tell. Okay, let me just find that part. See this cutoff here, so as you can tell, it's very plucky. And then when it comes to the 17th bar, it starts to unfilter itself. Yep, cool. Alright, then we have our hollow pumper, which also fills in the low frequency bass like this. Last but not least, we want to talk about our classic house organ, which starts off our song as the main melody. We use a classic house organ and use controls to remove a bit of we jack up the reverb and reduce and increase some of the components, so it sounds a bit detuned, but yet it sounds not that bad. Alright, so we have talked about the main instruments used for creating the melody, and of course we must not forget our beats, our drum beats in the song. So for our choice, we use steely beats because it gives a very nice kick and snare sound, as you can hear. So this gives it a very good kick and a very nice snare. And we added a bit of reverb to fill in the white noise, like a bit of noise to fill in, like to not leave any gaps in the song. Let me fix something here a bit. Okay, now we'll move on to how we make the drop. And from the bar around, what's that? 53, alright, 53. So from the build up to the drop, we use quite less instruments. We use a fluid bass because this will fill in the gaps. As for the second breakdown, we continue using hollow pumper and classic organ continuously. This twilight noise sweep that blends in when it goes into a second breakdown. Around the mid part of our build up, we added a dub smash machine. It gives a very nice kick, and at the end we have these two snares. That allows you to slowly get used to the drop. And most importantly, we'll now go into the drop sound. For this sound, we use locomotive, as I have used a lot of it in my other works because it's free. It's released by Architect Instruments, and detune gives a very nice saw sound, as you can hear. It's quite good for a free plugin, so I recommend you guys to get it. But do remember that you need to download an audio unit version, an AU version, because Garageband does not actually support VST, like maybe silent VST. So if you want to get a silence, you need to get a AU version. So if you want to find locomotive in your Garageband, just go down to this knob over here and just go down plugins and just find it in your AU instruments. Yep. Then we have this static electric topper that gives it the white noise. So it just acts as a filler. Now when you guys see all of these, don't mind the names please, you might wondering why it is. Actually, this is our drop chant, and this is some conversation I think my friend put in. It's a Japanese saying meaning good night. You might hear that there's actually a lot of background noise, but he added a lot of other sounds to clear it up. Yep, something like that. So when you hear it all together, it should sound like this. Then the drop comes. Then a clipping beat topper also comes in around the mid part of the drop. Alright, with our drop cleared, we'll move on to our second breakdown. Yes, the second breakdown, where we'll make the atmosphere subside, and we slowly build up again. So we just use a sub bass. We continue with micro powers. The classic organ, house organ, comes in later. There's nothing else. It's just steely beats which plays a very muffled kick. So then the classic house organ will come back in again. We use the same one as before. And if some of you are wondering, we actually use a trap beat in around the last few seconds of the song. I mean the second drop build up. So we use Altered State Beat 2. It's not a custom made loop, but it is from Apple Loops. You just need to go up here to this little ribbon like button and just click it and search for altered state beat. It's right here. Alone it sounds very plain, but if you put it together with songs, it will sound quite good. Let's take a look. Then we have a twilight sweep again. And at bar 101, that is where we reuse the big room, the dub smash kicks, and we'll start to build up again. However, here we use a very special sound, and it's a kick. It's a very strong sounding kick, which gives it like an impact noise. Let's take a look. It's just like that. So add it together. When you put it together with other elements in the song, it gives it a nice impact sound. And then of course the drop is the same. Really, that's the same. Just the same. Alright, so we use very less instruments for this song. Majority of them are from Garageband itself. A lot of the loops are from Garageband other than our drop chants and some of the things. So, and we only have one external plugin, and that would be Locomotive. So with this, I'll wrap up this video, guys. If you like it, please drop a like. And if you have any questions, do feel free to ask, because me and my friend, we are quite experienced in GarageBand now. So hope you learned something from this tutorial on Progressive House, and goodbye.